welcome to DreamWeaver and Chill, and thanks for chilling with me. I've got a cold today, so I'm going to sound a little different. But I have a really exciting person in the studio today. You might know him as WarPigWick, and now he's known as The Shunned. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad you're here. Now, you had asked me to let you clear up some stuff, and I said, that's great, man, but I'm going to give the floor to you. I know you had something you wanted to tell the server.
Yeah, guys, I lost my cool the other day, and I said some stuff about Iron Man's family and stuff that I shouldn't have said. I'd like to apologize to y'all. I don't like Iron Man, but I still should have had better taste than to involve his family or to say what I said. So, December 17, I do apologize, and I hope y'all will accept it.
Thank you, sir. I accept your apology. Well, let me ask you, man. You're solo right now, but when did you start playing Star Trek Fleet Command? And do you remember that very first alliance you were in?
I think it was probably about 3 years ago or so, and the first alliance I was in was EK, and I think this was probably when they were first getting off the ground.
Now, you remember EK was really small at the beginning, and I thought, man, what is this little alliance? And now it's a major force.
Yeah, like I said, I think they were just getting started. I didn't know anything about the game. They didn't have the time, I guess, to coach me along. And I got in some trouble. Me and Baby Yoda got into a feud.
Wait a second. Baby Yoda was mixed up in some kind of feud? I don't believe it.
Yeah, well.
that innocent little Baby Yoda? Oh my gosh. Well,
he's a good dude. We battled for about 18 months, and we earned the respect for each other because neither one of us would quit. And I like the dude. I've talked to him. We talked after the 18 months. It was around Christmas holiday. I think we started actually talking to each other, and we've been good ever since. And I actually like him. He's a really good fella. He just has his code, and once you understand it and choose to respect it, he's a friend. And he comes to me if there was an issue with somebody in Bacon and let me work it out. And if I had an issue with him or anybody else, I went to him. It wasn't no GC banter or, trash talking to each other, disrespectful or nothing like that. It was two people working it out, and it usually stayed peaceful after that because we had earned that respect with each other.
Now, you were in Bacon for a long time.
I'd still be in Bacon if I hadn't lost a fight.
I know, and I happened to catch that one night. I got a recording of it, but I mean, you fought. Was there any thoughts about that fight? Maybe.
I mean, I'm not one to make excuses. There was a lag, at least on my side, and but I won't use that as an excuse. Iron Man said that he had me blocked, so he didn't know nothing about my challenge. But it's funny. I'm pretty sure about 2 seconds after I made the challenge initially, somebody at the LVE would have told him. So the fight actually happened about a week later. And my question is, which he has never answered, is how much did that Kelvin cost you just so you could beat little old me? And my condition was, if I beat him, they knocked the war off. But I said, if you beat me, I'll leave Bacon. And I kept my word. But I will never give up on my family.
And that's why you're now Oink.
Yeah.
So that's, you're Bacon adjacent, I would say.
Well, it wouldn't matter if I stood by myself. If Bacon ever needed me, they got me. I ain't the baddest man on the server, but I'm stubborn, and I will fight to the end.
Well, it sounds like you just answered my second question, which is, what is your personal code of ethics in the game? Sounds like it's family.
It is. You wouldn't know by now looking at my stats because of the player kills have tripled, but I don't generally attack people. I'm the kind of guy, I kind of feel guilty if I take a node that's zeroed from somebody else just because I know what it feels like. I'm out there trying to grind and do my thing. and, you know, I fall asleep or work gets in the way or something like that, you know, I can't fault the guy for hitting me if I'm zeroed and he sends me a message and I don't see it.
It happens. It happens, right? I mean, life happens.
Yeah, I mean, it always happens. I got rated the same morning of that fight with Iron Man, and I was grinding the heavy transports in Romulan space, and I passed out. And I woke up to being rated.
Yeah, that's happened to me before.
Yeah, but I was being rated by 3 different alliances, and I'm still...
Holy man.
Just how many times it took them to hit back to base.
I've fallen asleep while rating people before the amalgam or whatever, but we'd be rating somebody who was like 250 million, and man, take a little while, and we start to get sleepy and pass out, and they rate us back. That's the scary part sometimes.
Oh, well, I had billions, so they were there a while.
Well, you've hit some people in the game. You know, you've been at war with some people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's almost an ongoing war with Hunt. And the bad thing about it is with Hunt, it's never usually directed at us. It's because of who we're family with or whatever. You know, they got a war going on with Grow, and they included us in it because we're family with Grow. Well,
have you ever received any hate mail from them? Like, what's the best hate mail you've ever received?
You know, surprisingly, I haven't received that much. I mean, it's usually done out in the open EC. I mean, I've talked to AK and them and DJ and Lux and all of them in private message. And, you know, we do our thing in general chat, but, you know, I used to think AK was cool, but, you know, he apparently is buddy with Iron Man. So anything I would talk to him about was going back to Iron Man. And, of course, Iron Man wants to put his little twist on it. So I just told AK that if I want to talk to him, I guess I can just talk straight to Iron Man.
I like Hunt. I mean, I get into some philosophical discussions with them, but they used to be real free, man. They would attack everybody. I don't know if that's changed or not.
Well, you know, I used to think their style was chicken shit, but I can see where it has some value. But out of all those guys in Hunt, DJ is probably the one I respect the most because DJ will fight just like I will. Don't matter if he loses, he will fight.
And they kind of follow Roe. It's if you're on a zero, Hunt will hit you. If you're a floating warship, especially, they'll hit you. And if you're OPC, they'll hit you. I know that.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, if you read their thing, you ain't supposed to hit them for no reason whatsoever. And that ain't the way the game is played. They might have their version of REO, but don't mean everybody else has got to follow it.
Well, that's the thing about REO and Roe. That's everybody has their own. Well, what do you think about Roe? Would you change something about it?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it's got value. You know, there's nothing wrong with sending a message to somebody, let them know they're zeroed, and, you know, whether it's 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, if they hadn't done anything about it and somebody needs to know, then, yeah, take them out. You know, OPC, pay attention to your stuff. If they're OPC, take them out.
I don't hit the floating warships. I don't think I've ever done that, where I just go in and...
Well, I don't necessarily agree with that because, like, I'll put my ships out just to grind while I'm working or something.
Yeah.
You know, I'll put them in Romulan space. I'll let the hunters crash on them. And, you know, when they finally kill one of my ships, I'll repair it and send it right back. You know, and for somebody to hit it just because it's sitting out there, to me, it don't make any sense, but I ain't the one that sets the rules for the game. The good thing about my ships are with Hunt, they can't really take them down.
Now, what level are you?
46.
You got some strong ships. Now, when you were in Bacon, you guys had territory or no?
We did, and, you know, the thing about it is we had some smaller members, and we didn't have the best cohesion. And when we lost our territory to Inc., I talked to Noddy about getting out of the territory game so we could work on increasing our strength and our cohesion within the group so that we were not such a drain on the coalition or EMC. And he agreed, and he backed my play. And when I told the coalition that we were leaving, I don't know what the cause of it was, but, you know, I was kicked from the server before I could even elaborate on what our plan was. And, Little Birdie's told me that, the whole discussion was, they're going to go ahead and help Inc. and all like that. And that was not our plan. We were getting out of the game altogether.
Yeah.
I still intended to assist a coalition with defenses, good standing with those guys. But it wasn't but a couple of us that could really make too big of a difference. And none of us could compared to EMC. But, I had strong ships. Pathfinder has strong ships. Not the strongest, but good enough to put up a fight. And, we still want to stay in good standing with the coalition, but, after all I did to rebuild the relationship with those guys, for them just to automatically assume that we were going to side with Inc. because we were leaving, it just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, and I just didn't want to have anything to do with them. Did
it feel like a betrayal, kind of?
It just felt like they were kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth because, they would tell me how good of a job I did bringing Bacon back. And even Iron Man told me that Bacon was dying until you took over. And, man, you brought him back. Nobody in there thought you could do it. And you did. And, to say stuff like that and then to automatically assume I was going to turn my back and go to another side without letting me explain what our plan was. I don't necessarily call it a betrayal because those guys didn't owe me anything. But, it ain't no need to talk out of both sides of your mouth to me. I didn't set out to be some great leader. Now he had some personal problems that are his business. I don't know what was going on. And unless he tells me, I won't ask. And even if he does tell me, it's nobody else's business unless he chooses to tell them. My whole concern was keeping Bacon together and watching after my family. And if that made me some kind of rebirth for Bacon or whatever in the coalition's eyes or some of those other admirals' eyes, I guess you could call it an unintended bonus. But I did what I needed to do to keep my family together, and that's all I was worried about. We had an agreement with Piff. We had lost part of the property, or the territory, I should say. And I was dead set on honoring that agreement and getting that territory back. And my initially wanted to get out of the territory game after we fulfilled that agreement. But everything was going well. We all seemed to be getting along. So I figured maybe we'd, give it a go and try and work on our growing and cohesion while in the coalition. But it wasn't working out. The territory defenses require a lot of time.
The coalition is mainly just for territory? Is that correct?
Yeah, unless they've changed it since we left. Yeah, you play the game as you play the game, but when it comes time to defend the territory, you put all the other stuff beside each other. Like, just like with our war with LVE, we could fight LVE, but when it was defense time, you knock it off and you fight side by side. Then after the defense is over, go back to killing each other if you want to.
Wow, I did not know that. Yeah, so you could raid each other up until the defense time, and you better get your ships there to fight.
Right. But they, as we were leaving, they were talking about stopping the OPC hits and stuff against each other in territory.
Yeah.
Which EMC did not agree to. And, GNN told them, he said, we're burning a whole lot of trite to assist y'all. So we're not stopping anything. And I really didn't have a problem with that because those guys do a lot for the coalition. But truth be told, without EMC, Inc. would steamroll through the territories. And the big bad LVE family couldn't stop them.
They are powerful, man. Inc. is a strong alliance.
Well, see, the thing about it, the difference between EMC and the LVE family is the ass to back it up. EMC is the biggest power on the server. Like I say, Fear's a good group, Solar, good guy, strong alliance. But it doesn't make them a bad alliance. Inc's just got bigger players. EXC's another one, not the baddest on the server, but they ain't weak either. You put EXC and Inc together, coalition's not going to stop them. Not without EMC.
EXC's strong. They don't have a lot of people right now, but they're strong.
They got some high-level players, whether they're in seriously, if they are and they haven't paid anything, I'd like to know their secret. I pay some, but, this is basically my only hobby. So, I put my hobby money into the game.
I put about $20 a month right now.
But even when I was free now, my whole thing didn't change. You know, I pay to get my ship strong or to get resources I need or whatever. It's not so I can go beat up and or, you know, start bullying people.
Yeah.
I try to get myself as strong as possible to protect my family. Anybody that's paid attention in this game, you don't hear about me just randomly attacking people or anything like that. Usually if you don't mess with my family, there ain't too many reasons I'm going to hit somebody.
That's a pretty good way to live, you know. Well, let me ask you this. What's your favorite alliance and why?
You talking about outside of Bacon?
You can pick Bacon if you wanted. But you're saying Bacon is your family, so yeah, let's go outside of Bacon.
Well, you know, we're part of the TTS family, and I like all those guys too. But as far as like an independent, I'd have to go with I'm gonna have to go with somebody like No.
Oh, you like No? Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily know that I like them, but I don't have anything against them. They're quiet, they do their thing, and
I like No too.
I can't ever actually see a reason. I couldn't actually ever see a reason to be aggressive towards those guys. You know, I don't see them being aggressive towards people. I think they just want to do their thing and want to get along with everybody. Maybe Fear.
Fear's good. They're strong. Solar's a good guy.
But, I mean, like I say, I don't have any issues with EXE, so those guys, Proton, that the Admiral Proton guy, I caught that interview. That guy sounds like a character. Sarge is definitely a character, so I'd have to throw God in there, too. I don't know that I could pick a favorite.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. You mentioned us, so that's cool. What's your least favorite alliance?
Let me see.
You can have two. Yeah, I'll give you two.
Well, obviously I'm going to say LVE, but it's nothing because of LVE. It's because of one player. I mean, LVE's got some great guys in it, but they also got one that turns it to shit for me. And, you know, I know that my opinion doesn't matter to them, probably doesn't matter to anybody on the server, but it's my opinion, you know.
We're welcome to our opinions, man. I mean, we can have a feeling about a guy, you know?
Oh, yeah. You know, the sad thing is I tried to like the dude. I did. And when we were in the coalition, I did. And I for a while, I genuinely did like him. But then as soon as he didn't get his way, he thought he was going to disrespect me and get ugly with me. And I ain't the one for that.
So you guys are not part of the coalition anymore?
No.
And that's kind of what your plan was?
Well, like I say, you know, we broke away from them not because of anything that they did or because we didn't like them. I felt like we were too big of a drain on them and too big of a drain on the EMC because of our internal stuff. And I wanted to be able to work on that. I wanted to be able to be a better contributing member. It was always our intention to go back. And all of that would have been explained if I had been given a chance to.
I know there's some members that probably don't need to be in there because they're a little unprepared for these kind of things. I raid in territory space a lot. I go for OPC in territory space, and I'm telling you, there were a couple of alliances where there was no one ever mining, ever. It's like, why have the territory, in my opinion? Why have it if you're not going to use it?
Well, there are benefits to it. You get particles depending on what's in your territory, like phantom particles or Serac or quantum. And from what I recently learned, that having a territory actually increases your strength a little bit.
Oh, really? Kind of got home field advantage, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean your strength outside of the home.
Oh, it boosts you a little bit. I did not know that. That's good. That would be a great thing to have.
I didn't either until a high-level friend of mine kind of clued me in on that.
Is it a big bump or is it just a little?
Well, I mean, you know, that's going to be the officers and the research and, of course, the strength of your ships and your defenses and all. But I think the more research and the bigger boost it is.
Now, you've been here, you said 3 years. Why do you continue playing the game? What gets you to log in every day?
Mostly the family. Want to see the guys under me grow, get stronger. And the competitive side is cool. You know, the thing with the territory defenses, I like the battles. You know, I could fight tooth and nail against ink, and then once the defense was over, oh, man, y'all fought hard, or, you know, we'll get you next time, you know, whatever it was, you know, and that was it. You know, it won't no ongoing war after a defense. It wasn't taken personally. You know, you get to, like, you know, Damon is a high-level player, you know, and, you know, I could probably barely scratch the paint on most of his ships and all, and one of his big ships is almost dead or practically dead. You know, maybe one of mine could sneak in and get a kill on him. You know, I'd be like, yeah, I got Damon one time. You know, straight up fight, Damon would kill me. But, you know, it's a little boost to the ego. And it's not personal. Damon's not going to come kill me because I managed to get one of his ships in a defense, you know. And, I mean, Damon would just outright destroy me. Okay. But, I mean, you know, it's for territory defense. And, you know, if I snuck in a little victory on him, you know, good for me.
Well, that would feel good, wouldn't it? Like,
don't get me wrong, it'd be really nice if I could compete with them guys straight up. But, you know, I got a ways to go.
He's kind of about the only player that can even get close to Ska, from what I can see. Well,
yeah, and that's the difference between, you know, like him and my friend. Ska is the biggest man on the server. Ska has never disrespected me. And I've talked to him before. I've made little jokes about him adopting me or something like that, you know, just so I could get closer to his level. And, you know, he'll laugh a little bit. He'll be like, you know, I always loved my bacon and all like that. You know, Damon's another one that's a high-level player, could destroy me 6 ways from Sunday. But, you know, he's never felt the need to talk down to me or disrespect me or nothing like that. And that's Iron Man's problem. He likes to try and talk down to people and disrespect them, and that don't fly with me. You know, don't think you're Ska when you're not, and don't think you can disrespect people when you can't.
Well, do you think you'll ever go back to bacon?
I don't know. I saw discussions, them trying to end the war, and they're not going to let it go. And
you're not even there anymore.
Well, you know, that's the whole thing, you know. And even the difference between Shogun and Iron Man is Shogun is respectful, and he still tried to get me to LVE. And I like Shogun, but that's never going to happen because I'm not going to be on the same team with Iron Man. I'm not going to help him. I will not defend him. You know, there's no part of the LVE family I could go to because I'm not going to take orders from Iron Man. And, you know, whether I like Sword or Blaze or any of those other guys, you know, even if they wanted me, I wouldn't join them because they're affiliated with LVE, and I wouldn't join LVE because of Iron Man. And that's it. I mean, that's the bottom line there.
No coalition.
Oh, well, the coalition wouldn't matter because I don't have to take orders from Iron Man, and I can still kill him outside of a territory defense.
Well, there's plenty of alliances around that aren't in there. So if you decide to get back in with a bigger one, you know, you do have some options. Sounds like people are still inviting you as well, right?
Yeah. I was actually a member of EMC for about 12 hours. That's got to be like some kind of record. I got asked to join, and I guess somebody whose feelings I hurt with my losing my cool the other day, you know, complained to them and actually got kicked while I was asleep.
Really?
And, yeah, you know, EMC's got to do what they think's right now, I guess. But, you know, I'm like, why not do your homework before you invite me? I mean, if you were just going to do that or write me off for one bad day, why even waste my time?
That might be an all-time record.
I mean, it is what it is. They did what they felt like they needed to do, but I'm just like, you know, it was on GC.
Really?
You didn't know this ahead of time and you asked me to join?
Yeah, that was pretty much, a lot of people saw that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a secret. You know, I lost my cool. I said some stuff I shouldn't have said, you know, but it wasn't done privately. It was out for everybody to see.
Well, look, maybe this maybe the apology you gave at the beginning, and you know, I can tell you're truly remorseful for saying that, man. It wasn't it wasn't cool. So maybe that'll help, you know.
The thing about it is, I probably just should have quit talking, and you know, I couldn't stop it. Well, you know, I probably could have, but I just didn't stop it. And you know, if nothing else, I should have slung my phone across the room or something instead of saying what I said. But I just don't like the guy.
Well, let me ask you some questions. Let me ask you some lighter-hearted questions. You know, about Star Trek, you know, in general. What's your favorite show? What's your favorite franchise? Like, do you like DS9?
I never really got into DS9. Nothing against anybody that likes that show. That one wasn't my cup of tea. I like The Next Generation. I like Voyager. But to me, all the Star Trek shows have value. They all intertwine at some point with each other. And there were actually some episodes of Deep Space Nine that I did like, but I couldn't get into that show as much as some of the rest of them.
You know, I liked Voyager too. A lot of people don't.
Well, 7 of 9, in my opinion, is the hottest woman on Star Trek, period. Enough said, drop the mic, walk out the room. All these people talking about Dax and this one and that one and all like that. 7 of 9, mic drop, walk out the room.
She's pretty good looking girl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
get it.
So she's in a new show. I haven't seen it, but she's like in this new show now.
She's on Picard.
Yeah.
And she's still smoking.
So I guess that answers your favorite character as well, huh?
Well, actually, my favorite character is probably Picard.
Oh, yeah? What do you like about Jean-Luc Picard?
He evolved over time. He's just kind of got a noble sense to him. You know, I don't know what it is, but he looks like he commands respect.
Yeah.
He doesn't demand it, but he commands it.
I think he made being bald cool again too.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, because he's like he's like the opposite of Kirk from the original series.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, there's only going to be one Shatner. For sure.
What's your favorite ship in the game? In the game or in Star Trek or whatever? What's your favorite ship?
To tell you the truth, there's two that I would love to see Scopely bring to the game, and that's the Scimitar from Star Trek Nemesis.
Oh, yeah, that's a good-looking ship.
And the Vengeance.
Oh, the Vengeance is the big one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That was with, what's his name? Marcus. Yeah. That's a scary ship.
But then again, you know, I'm pretty sure if they brought the Enterprise, the E, into the game, I probably wouldn't be disappointed with that one either. Although Scott would be the first one to get it, and he'd just be even more powerful. But you know,
who knows? He probably has it already. I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, he's probably got it in the hangar waiting.
Probably got a couple of them.
Some of the ships they just don't like the Enterprise A. I mean, that's a strong ship.
Yeah.
That one that Sky's got is like 140 million. I mean, thing's almost stronger than my base.
Yeah, it is stronger than my base.
With all my ships and stuff. Oh yeah, I have no doubt he couldn't one-shot me, without even thinking about it. But
I don't know if he can hit me anymore. I don't know. I don't know how low he can hit.
Yeah, well, it'd be my luck. I'd be in his range and he'd tear me all to pieces.
I bet you are. 46 has got to be in a 59's range. Probably shouldn't be, but it probably is.
Yeah, so, Sky, remember, I showed you all kinds of respect. Don't kill me, please.
You heard it. Well, if you could change something about the game, what would you change?
Maybe refining. The guys work hard for their grinding, and a lot of times they get crap in rewards. You spend a half a day mining to refine something, and then you don't get nothing that you need.
You get a bunch of commons when you don't need it, and 7 uncommons when you do.
Yeah.
I know that's right.
For the smaller guys that are really needing uncommon ore or crystal or whatever to help upgrade their ships and stuff, and then they're mining constantly for 7 uncommon or 14 uncommon, and taking 6 months to a year to get enough just for one upgrade or something like that. To me, that's a joke. That's them trying to get them to spend money.
Yep. What do you think about the Battle Pass? You like that?
The Battle Pass is a way to get some stuff, and I usually buy the Elite Key. Sometimes I'll do the bigger pack just to help with other things like some of the ores and gases and stuff like that. And, the benefits of that's pretty good. You get quite a bit of parasteel and dilithium and, a few other little things.
I wish they would do the refinery kind of like the Latinum refinery. Because you know what you're going to get in the Latinum refinery. It's guaranteed you're going to get this. That'd be cool if I refined some ore and I knew I was going to get 10 of each thing. Or 10, 5, and 2, something. I don't know. Some set amount. I'd be happy with that.
Well, I have no doubt those guys have developed this game to keep you interested, but not to give you too much.
I think a lot of people are addicted to this game.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And the higher you go, the harder it is to let it go because you've invested so much.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the thing what I like about Scott. Scott is a high-level player on the game. He could decimate the entire server by himself, but he doesn't bother people. You really don't see Scott except for maybe defenses.
Yeah.
You're talking about somebody that could bully the entire server. Nobody can touch him. Damon could come close, but nobody can really touch him. Yet he doesn't bother anybody. He comes in for defenses. He doesn't run his mouth. He doesn't talk junk to Damon or Ink or anybody like that, He does his deal, and then he goes back to wherever he goes, and I'm sure he has interactions with his people in EMC. And, you got to respect that guy.
Yeah.
The guy that can bully the entire server doesn't bother a soul.
I just sat down with him over a Zoom call. I'll attach it to the end of this video, but we sat and talked for, an hour and a half, just laughing, having fun, talking about the game. I shotgunned a beer. It was a good time.
Yeah, well, I figured he's just some regular dude like everybody else, and everybody wants to be up here.
He's just a regular bro who has made some smart decisions, just like GNN has made some great financial decisions in his life, and they choose to spend some money here. It's not going to break them. It's just their fun. That's their fun place. Oh, no. Well,
I told my people a lot of times, if I ever manage to win the lottery, bacon's going to grow by leaps and bounds. I need about a month with each one of y'all's accounts, and when y'all get it back, you're going to be so happy. Yeah, I'd definitely pump some people up. I would start a sharing program with my alliance. But I'd let them know that you're not going to change who you are. Just because you're bigger than certain people, if I catch you start bullying, I'm going to show you why I'm still bigger. And I'll make this announcement now. Server 17, you don't want me to be in Scott's position because I would be a terrible dictator. Well, I think if it was me, I'd be a lot like Scott. But, if I saw bullying, I might would come down off the mountain and put you in your place. Yeah, I know me, man, and I would be bad. So it's good that I'm a low level. I was scar porn level 50 for like a year on YouTube, so I kind of know where I would go. I'd be saying bro a lot with my cap backwards. I'd be hitting every ship I could. I'd be loaning Scopely money, It would be bad, man. Starting my own church of ska. I'd be all about it, man. Be dangerous. In my case, I'd kind of be more like the Robert McCall of Server 17. You got a smaller group like No or something like that, and somebody's trying to bully them, then the Equalizer's gonna show up. Yeah, that was a good movie. It was a good TV show too. Remember the Equalizer TV show? I hadn't watched it. I got so many that I watched. I've got a lot of stuff on Blu-ray and DVD, seasons of stuff. I'm an NCIS fan. Yellowstone. Oh, I like Yellowstone. Yeah, well, that's kind of what got me in trouble. That whole insult towards Iron Man I got from Yellowstone. I worked on a ranch. I work on a ranch now. Occasionally I go feed cattle.
That's all they want from me now. But a lot of that stuff, I mean, nobody's been branded anywhere, but a lot of the attitudes and stuff it's all legit, man. It's real.
Oh, well, I've always said if I won the lottery, I'm moving to Montana. After seeing that show, something like that would probably be what I'd want to do. Just having a big ranch and stuff like that. That don't seem like a bad life to me.
I've always told my wife I'd love to have some property and put like a 16-foot wall all around it. Just a big tall wall.
Yeah, well, don't forget the gun turrets on the tops of the wall.
Well, I mean that's just a given, man. That's every 10 feet.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking maybe Texas would be better area because y'all don't think you can live in Texas without owning like 12 guns.
Oh man, here officially I don't own any guns. Everybody, there's nothing to come get here.
Hey, it's legal in Texas.
Everything's legal in Texas, man. Now,
That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you, I did a little research. Arizona, they got an open carry law. New Hampshire, way up there in New England, they have really good gun laws in New Hampshire.
Well, I mean, North Carolina's open carry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it. I don't. When you're in Texas, just know if that guy looks like a hillbilly, redneck, country boy, that guy's probably not somebody you want to mess with.
Well, I was a cop for 20 years, and in my experience, the ones that go looking for trouble aren't the ones you got to worry about.
These are weird times we live in, man. What do you want to do in the game? Where do you want to go from here? What's your end goal in this game from now on?
Just to look after my family, whatever family that ends up being.
Let me ask you this. It's a personal question. Not about the game. This is about you. You can have it about the game, but mainly want to hear about you. If you died today, how would you like to be remembered?
It'd probably be how I'd be remembered. Most people that know me well be like, that guy was an asshole, but sometimes he'd make you laugh.
Oh, you made me laugh today.
I got my own thing. I don't do a whole lot. I got to work. I come home. I hang out with my kids. I don't like people. I like individuals, but people as a whole disappoint me. So just to alleviate myself from any trouble, I just don't have anything to do with it. It's too much self-entitlement and not enough blue-collar hard work, in my opinion.
I think a lot of people didn't get their butts whooped when they were kids.
Yeah, well, I got mine beat more than I should have. Part of the reason why I am the way I am now. When my sperm donor, as I will refer to him as, died, I didn't even blink. He put me down my whole life, bullied me, and all like that. And I honestly believe he died when he realized he didn't scare me anymore. And I told him, and I got nose to nose with him, and I let him know, if you ever try to treat my children the way you treated me, I'll kill you where you stand.
Here's the good news. You got a chance to be a way better dad than he was.
Well, trust me, I have my shortcomings. I don't put my children down. I don't threaten my children. I don't beat them for every little thing they do wrong. That's actually the last thing I try to do. Both my daughters, I've only ever had to pop one time, and that's when they were really little, and they don't remember it. But they know that I don't bluff, and that if I say it, I'll do it. And I don't yell at them. I don't threaten them or anything like that. I ask them two simple questions. When they do something wrong, I'll ask you, are you going to do what you're supposed to do, or do you need to find out why you should have? My little boy's 2, so he's kind of got a pass for a little bit. But, he was a surprise. I wasn't expecting him. I thought my family name was going to die with me.
Well, that's good news, man.
Oh, yeah, well, he is definitely going to be a monster. As Doc says that he's going to probably top out around 6'4", maybe 6'6".
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, well, his mama was tall, or is tall, too.
Well, let me ask you this. He's probably going to be a pretty good football player, don't you think?
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards baseball, maybe.
Yeah, baseball, basketball, a 6'6" guy that's over 200 pounds is pretty stout.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't want my child to... I wouldn't want to be concerned with him, getting a traumatic brain injury or or affecting himself like that he couldn't help but be a danger to himself or somebody else. And football is an impact sport.
Yeah.
So I can't blame the game, but I don't necessarily want my kid to be, I blew out both my knees playing football. And, any parent is going to want their child to avoid any kind of serious pain. And I ate a lot of it. And if I could keep him from doing that, I'd be happy.
Man, you're right. All of my injuries, like to joints and stuff, besides stuff happened in recent years, man, pains from high school, they're still there.
But, I've had to deal with injuries my whole life. I broke my foot Fort Benning in Georgia in 1992 on a PT test.
Oh.
I snapped it in half. I was taking my final PT test. We were doing the run, and my first mile I did in 6 minutes. My second mile took me 14 minutes because of my foot. My lead drill instructor at the time told me that he heard my foot snap. And he told me to stop, and I kept going. And, I finished the mile and collapsed. And they took me to the infirmary, and at the bottom of my foot, you was starting to push through. And they wanted to discharge me then. And I talked to the doctor and, pleaded with my company commander to, let me rehab. Let me try and get back. And I don't know, maybe he thought I was crazy, but he liked my tenacity or my motivation. And I actually healed while I was in basic and went back through again and made it through. I got some pads and stuff because when I was younger, I broke my leg. So my left leg is like almost half an inch longer than my right leg. And through all the stuff that you do in basic training, my foot just took some kind of a beating. And actually, when I came home on my Christmas leave, I had stress fractures all in my foot. And my drill instructor told me to take it easy and give my foot a chance to heal. But, I'm not a long-distance runner where I could hold my own, so I didn't take it easy. Because I knew if I laid off for 2 weeks, I would lose progress. Turns out I probably should have listened to the man. But, I got back and I made it through. And I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 101st Screaming Eagles. I was a 60 gunner. And the first time I hit the ground coming out of the chopper, I snapped my foot again and blew out both my knees a second time. They wouldn't let me rehab that time.
No, I would think they say, hey, that's enough pain in your body, right? That's enough breaking.
And the doctor told me he'd be surprised if I could ever walk again without assistance because of the damage that I had done. But, I'm just stubborn enough and can eat enough pain that I did. And a couple of years later, when I got old enough, I made it through the police academy, and I was a cop. And I actually liked that job. There was very few times I felt like I was making a difference, but, it was kind of what I was made to do. And then April 25th, 2009, my partner was killed. I was a supervisor that night, so that stays with me.
Man, I'm sorry, man.
And then 2 months after that, I was involved in a shooting, and I was the first deputy in the county's history to be involved in a shooting.
Really?
Yeah. The sheriff I started with was he's a good man. He's old school. He believed in treating everybody the same. Do your job, tell the truth. The sheriff I had when all that happened was not. He was a figurehead. He was a retired trooper, and he was just in it for the paycheck. And while I was out with a shooting, you're out 30 days on leave. I sat at home for 62 days because they forgot about me.
Oh.
The man didn't even know I went back to work.
Probably driving you crazy.
No, I was talking to one of the guys. He's a captain now, but he was a sergeant at the time. And, he called me to check on me. And he's like, man, when you come back to work? I said, dude, I don't know. I said, I'm thinking about talking to a lawyer because I think they're getting ready to try and indict me for something. And the shooting was justified. We had a towing company that did all our DWI tows and stuff like that. Well, his yard was 2,000 yards away from where I was at. And they could hear me telling them to put the gun down.
Oh.
And when the shotgun got leveled off on me, I popped them. And I was close enough. I could grab the gun and jerk it out of their hand before I had to fire a second shot. And so, it was pretty obvious I wasn't I wasn't out there to kill people.
Yeah.
And, even the FBI, which is the State Bureau of Investigations, asked me why I didn't do what I was trained to do. And I was like, dude, I'm not out here to kill people. I'm out here to do a job. It's not personal for me. And I was able to disarm them. I didn't see the need to take their life.
Yeah.
And, what it ended up being is they had got a couple of big cases, and I just kind of fell through the cracks. And I guess the people in my department didn't call them to check with them to make sure I was cleared. So this sergeant friend of mine, he actually went to the sheriff because the captain and the major were apparently afraid to talk to the sheriff. And he was like, well, shit on that, I'll go talk to him. And he asked the sheriff, he said, we ever going to let him come back to work? And the sheriff was like, what do you mean come back to work? He ain't back to work yet? No, sheriff, he's still sitting at home. He thinks y'all ready to come after him. So, he gets the captain and the major to call the FBI and tell them that they need to clear me or charge me or whatever, because he was bringing me back to work. And, normally in a traumatic incident, they have you talk to somebody to make sure you're good, make sure you're stable to come back on the road.
Like a counselor or something, right?
Yeah, to have you evaluated. I never talked to a soul, and I was the most heavily armed man in the department. I was one of 8 deputies that carried a fully automatic weapon issued by the sheriff. I had 1,000 rounds per every weapon I carried, and we used to joke all the time that my car caught on fire, it'd take out a city block.
Be like the 4th of July.
Yeah, and then some, but, they just got to where I was losing my humanity, and I didn't see the need to do the job anymore, and I started driving trucks.
You like that?
It's got its ups and downs.
It's probably not fun being away from family, but...
Well, I'm local. I'm home every day, so...
Okay, cool.
I did the over-the-road thing, and I won't ever see my kids, and I was like, nah. Time for me to find something a little closer to home.
Well, man, I'm glad you talked to me. I mean, it's... The reason I'm doing these interviews is just to humanize some people, We play this game, but all we have are words on a screen. And it's good to hear someone's voice, see the face or whatever. And it kind of brings us all closer together, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of times the typing doesn't relay tone, so you get misunderstanding after misunderstanding.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to clear things up and you're like, oh, man, they took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for being on here, man. And
appreciate you having me.
WarPigWick or The Shunned, or I'm hoping you're going to change your name. Thanks for chilling with me.
I appreciate it, man.